Well, hello everybody. What is happening in your corner of the world? I hope you are staying safe. I hope you are staying healthy. I hope you are managing to keep your head up during these weird times. It has been a big week for me, you guys, because after 10 months and more than 30 videos, I hit the 100 subscriber milestone. Hooray! There are, as of today, 101 of you, and I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for your support. It really does mean the world to me. If you're not subscribed yet and you want to be part of my next 100, you know what to do. So to celebrate this milestone, I thought I'd take a step back from my usual controversial opinions and do something a little bit more fun. Someone sent me this A to Z list of questions. So there's a question for each letter of the alphabet, and the idea is for me to answer the questions as honestly as I can so you guys can get to know me a little better and, figure out what makes me tick. If you figure out what makes me tick, by the way, let me know. So here are the questions. Drum roll, please. First question, age. So a few months ago, when I was last in South Africa, I celebrated my 50th birthday in epic style.
Happy birthday to you.
I was with my mum and my brother and some truly amazing friends. And as we live through this time when coronavirus is keeping me separated from my loved ones back in South Africa, I just go back to the absolute love that was poured into putting that birthday celebration together for me. Biggest fear, spiders. I hate them. And yes, I know a bunch of people are going to come after me about how spiders eat the bugs and keep the mosquito population under control, and yeah, whatever. Spiders are blah. They have too many legs and they stare at me with all of those beady little eyes. The other day, I have to tell you the story. I'm sitting on the toilet, right? And out of nowhere, this spider dangles down on its thread of spider web and lands on my lap. I mean, what do you do in that situation when you're an arachnophobe and a spider comes to keep you company while you're trying to pee? Children. I have 2 children, 2 boys, 14 and 16 years old. They're amazing kids. My younger boy at 14 is this automotive powerhouse who has plans to change the world through electric vehicle technology. I mean, this kid had a one-on-one interview with Mario Andretti at age 11 or 12. He has his own YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description. And my older boy is finding his own path in life. His autism does present some challenges for him, but he's figuring out what he likes, what he's good at, and what he might want to do career-wise when the time comes. The biggest thing for me, though, with both of my kids is how kind they are, because that is what I think the world needs most. Just for people to be kind. Oh, and just a heads up in case anyone was wondering, teenage boys eat a lot. Trust me. Drink you last had. Coffee. No matter what time of day you ask me that question, coffee is going to be a reliable answer. I'll have a glass of wine most evenings, but that's usually late when I'm done with all of my work. At all other times of the day, I'm all about the coffee. Apparently there's this coffee challenge where you drink nothing but coffee for a day or 2. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I'm thinking, that's a challenge? To me, that's like a regular day. Not saying it's necessarily healthy, but let's just say I drink coffee for the safety of everyone around me. Cheers to that. Easiest person to talk to. Okay, you guys are going to think I'm weird, but the easiest person for me to talk to is myself. Yeah, I talk to myself like all the time. When I'm cooking dinner or doing the laundry or whatever, I'm basically narrating my life to myself. If I think of something I have to remember to do, I'll say it to myself out loud. If I do something stupid like trip over my own feet, which is kind of a regular occurrence, I'll berate myself out loud. I don't know if there's any real logic behind this, but when my husband or kids ask me why I'm talking to myself again, I just say, well, at least that way I know someone's listening, right? Favorite song. Do people actually have a favorite song, like just one? So many incredible songs are out there. How do you just pick one? My favorite band is Queen, and I think their music is just absolutely genius. It's like there's a song for every mood. Shout out to Randy Rainbow though. He is putting out songs that are perfect for the times we're living in. If you want a good political statement combined with hilarious entertainment, look up Randy Rainbow. Grossest memory. Well, I'm not going to tell you my absolute grossest memory because it's kind of personal, but I'll tell you a gross memory that is more palatable for public consumption. When I was a kid, I would have been 6 or 7. I know we were living in Connecticut at the time. My brother and I still had some Easter chocolate left over. Now, we weren't allowed to just eat chocolate whenever we wanted, but every night after dinner, our parents would let us each have a bit of chocolate from our stash. And on this one night, I decided to have part of a solid chocolate Easter egg that, for some reason, I had put into the freezer. And I chose, in my infinite wisdom, to cut this frozen solid Easter egg in half using a gigantic, I don't even know if it was a knife, it was more like a cleaver. And of course the predictable thing happened, which was that the knife slid off the Easter egg and sliced open my finger. And you know, I just remember a lot of blood. I don't know if there actually was that much blood or if it just seemed that way because I was so little, but the memory of that still makes me queasy. I have a scar on my finger from it still. Hometown. My original hometown is Johannesburg, South Africa. I've been living in Toronto, Canada for 20 years now. I do go back to South Africa when I can to see my family and friends there. I'm actually supposed to have just landed there this week. Thanks, Rona. Interesting fact about me. I don't know. Am I interesting? I guess to some people I am. I suppose something that makes me different to most people is that I am adopted, and to my mind I am extremely fortunate. My birth parents were not in a position to take care of me when I was born, and they made the really selfless decision to give me up for adoption. I don't know if a lot of people really understand what goes into a choice like this. It's not a case of parents not wanting their baby. It's a case of parents wanting what's best for their baby. I landed in the best family in the world. I mean, my parents and my brother, no matter what's been going on in my life, they've always been my soft place to land. Jealous of. You know what? I don't do jealousy. Life is too short. There was a time long ago when seeing other people happy made me sad because my life just wasn't in a good place. But I learned that other people's happiness can always coexist with whatever I happen to be feeling. And if something great happens for someone else, I'm just happy for them. There's no room in my life for jealousy. It's a wasted emotion. Kindest person you know. This is kind of like the favorite song question. I can't pick just one. I have this belief that we attract what we put out into the universe. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I always sign off with a message to be kind. Genuine kindness is a value that I hold very dear. And this is how I live my life. If I see an opportunity to be kind, I take it. I mean, look, I'm not claiming to be a saint. I have my moments when I say and do things that I later regret. But because I live my life seeking out ways to be kind, I am blessed that a lot of the people who are surrounding me have hearts filled with kindness. Just be kind, folks. It costs nothing. Longest relationship. You know, when I first came to Canada 20 years ago, my plan was to stay for a couple of years and then possibly go somewhere else. I have a permanent travel bug. But when I'd been in Canada for about a year, I met this random guy in a park. We went for a walk, we had dinner together, we had a couple of kids together, and we ended up getting married. I've been with him for 19 years now, and next year we'll be celebrating our 10th wedding anniversary. Middle name. There's a story behind this. As I said, I'm adopted. The name that my birth mother gave me when I was born was Carolyn. When I was adopted, my mom and dad named me Kirsten, but they didn't give me a middle name. So when I was somewhere in my 20s, probably around the time I started the search for my birth mother, I decided to legally add a middle name. I wanted to pay tribute to my birth mother, but I also wanted to put my own spin on it. So my middle name is Caroline with a Y. Number of siblings. You know, adoption is a funny thing because it's a way of life throwing people together almost randomly. This is especially true of the time I was adopted. Like now, if you adopt a baby, you are chosen by the birth parent before the baby has even been born. So there is some rhyme and reason to it. There has to be something about you that the birth parent likes enough for them to feel comfortable giving their baby to you. But when I was born, all adoptions were completely closed. The birth parents and the adoptive parents weren't even allowed to know each other's identities. There was no contact at all. The adoptive parents were essentially chosen by the adoption agency, and they usually just called whoever was next on the waiting list. That's how random this whole thing was. My parents went through this twice, first with my brother and then with me. And through this random sequence of events, I ended up being part of this amazing family. I cannot imagine being raised by any other parents or growing up with any other brother. One wish. The crazy thing about my wish is that it's nothing magical. It's not like, I wish I could close my eyes and when I open them again, I have $1 million and a 24-inch waist. My wish is simpler than that. I wish everyone would do their thing to get this pandemic under control. Keep your distance, wear a mask when you can't keep your distance, and don't go to the beach with 4,000 of your closest friends. I want this virus to go away so I can get on a plane and go to my elderly mum who is on the other side of the world. Do your part, people, please. You can change the world. Person you last spoke to on the phone. Do people speak on actual phones anymore? It's actually kind of weird that we call our phones phones. They're more like mini computer-like devices that we call someone on once in a blue moon. Okay, so the last person I spoke to on the phone was my brother, and that wasn't even technically on the phone. It was a WhatsApp voice call, but close enough. Question you were always asked. Where are you from? I'm from South Africa and I live in Canada. So when I'm in South Africa, people think I have a Canadian accent. When I'm in Canada, the only people who correctly identify that I'm from South Africa are other people who are from South Africa. Everyone else's guess has run the gamut from England to Australia, and one person thought I was from Croatia. Recreational activities. Recreational activities are theoretically things you do in your free time. YouTube videos? I do spend a fair bit of time on YouTube. I have a second channel, by the way. It's very different to this one. My day job is writing, so I started this other channel to give 2-minute writing tips to anyone who wants to improve their writing skills. I'll put a link in the description. Check it out if you're interested. Song you last sang. Oh, geez, seriously? I don't sing because I suck at it. I was singing along to something on the radio when I was in the car the other day, and my autistic teen who was in the passenger seat went, "No!" And I said, "What, I'm not allowed to sing?" And he went, "No!" So I stopped for a bit, and then I started singing again, and he said, "You're making me sad." I mean, if that's not telling me. Time you woke up. Around 7:30. I go to bed way too late. Part of it is that I always have loads that I have to get done. And part of it is that I just want a bit of quiet time to sit and sip my wine before I go to bed. And then I wake up at around 7:30. I'm sure I'm not getting enough sleep, but oh well. Underwear color. Wouldn't you love to know? I mean, when I'm getting dressed in the morning, I just grab clean underwear and put it on. I don't pay attention to what color it is. So I have no clue, and I'm sitting in my front yard where neighbors can see, so I'm not about to check. I will tell you this though, I was raised to always make sure my underwear is clean and not full of unsightly holes. Because if I was in an accident and my underwear was nasty, what would the paramedics think? Vacation destination. For overseas travel, it'll always be South Africa so I can see family and friends. But here in Canada with my husband and sons, we love to go to places like Niagara Falls, Sarnia, which is a lovely little town on the border, and places like that, all in Ontario, 2 or 3 hours away from home. For a couple of years, we've been talking about fixing up a camper van and heading out east to the maritime provinces, so that'll happen sometime. Worst habit? Cripes, I don't know. Forgetting to transfer my laundry from the washer to the dryer. I do that a lot. Or I'll start doing something and I'll get distracted by something else and I'll completely forget what it was that I was doing. And I'll go back later and see this half-completed task just kind of sitting there, and I'll be all like, what the hell was I trying to do here? X-rays you've had. Ankle of doom has been x-rayed multiple times since I smashed it up as a teenager. Every few years it hurts badly enough for me to see the doctor, but the x-rays never show up anything other than a ton of scar tissue. Surgery has been mentioned as a possibility, but the doctors always advise against it. At this point, I'm just kind of used to it. And I've been having chronic back pain over the last few months. I had x-rays done right before coronavirus struck. The x-rays didn't show anything, so the next step is an MRI sometime. That's kind of on hold right now, and I'm just trying not to make any sudden moves. Your favorite food. You know, I'm not really a picky eater. There are very few things that I will not touch. Olives, for instance. Olives are gross and have no place in society. Cabbage, only in coleslaw, and it has to be exceptional coleslaw. Tofu, bleh. Other than that, I'll eat whatever is put in front of me. I think at this point, when I feel like I've spent half my life in the kitchen since quarantine began, my favorite food is anything that I didn't have to cook myself. And finally, Zodiac Sign. I'm a Sagittarius. I don't place any stock in this because I have a hard time believing that rocks in the sky know more about me than I do, but just for fun, this is what the stars say about me. Apparently, I'm generous, idealistic, and I have a great sense of humor. Yeah, I think that's reasonably accurate. My weaknesses. I promise more than I can deliver. Yeah, sometimes I do that. I'm very impatient. I know this used to be true, but I've kind of mellowed as I've gotten older. I'll say anything, no matter how undiplomatic. No, not at all. I mean, I'll express my unfiltered opinion, no matter how unpopular it might be. You'll have gotten that from my previous videos. But I always try my best to think of how my words might impact someone. Even if I disagree with someone, even if I don't particularly like someone, it's never my intention to cause hurt. And I try to voice my opinions and my thoughts in a way that is respectful to the feelings of others. What I like: freedom, yes. Travel, yes. Philosophy, don't know about that. Being outdoors, yes, but I put that down to having been raised in an outdoors culture. What I dislike: clingy people. You know, it depends on why they are clingy. Sometimes clingy people are insecure, and they are insecure because they have been hurt in some way. So, no, I wouldn't agree with this one. I always assume that everyone has their story. Being constrained, yep, hate that. Off-the-wall theories. I wouldn't say I hate them, but I'm very cynical about them, and I will always research any outlandish claims before I accept them. And details. I mean, I deal with details like taxes and admin and paying bills, blah, 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 because I have to, but no, I don't really like them. So that's it for my A to Z. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to tune in next week. I have some great content planned, and I'd love to have you along for the ride. In the meantime, stay safe and healthy. Wash your hands, keep your distance, wear your mask, live your best life, and be kind. Bye.